Adams Archive.
The entire family of Tim Walz endorsed Donald Trump. The entire family. Now, I don't know what kind of person you have to be for your entire family to betray you in the biggest moment of your life when you're running for vice president of a country. I would hope, even if my family didn't align with my political beliefs, if I ran for office, they would at least respect me enough to shut up. Like, you have to be very unliked. Very unliked. And it all started with this picture right here. I'll zoom in on that for you if you're on YouTube. It all started with this picture right here. Trump, 2024, take America back. And this is all Tim Walz family. It says Nebraska. It says Walz for Trump. WALZS. How funny. Nebraska Walz for Trump. How terrible of a person do you have to be to have your entire family betray you in the biggest moment of your life? How bad of a person do you have to be? I couldn't imagine my family betraying me this way. You saw it with Robert F. Kennedy. That was pretty crazy. Right? So if we let's be fair here. Let's draw some common ground. If we draw a parallel between Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his family saying, we don't endorse Donald Trump, we don't agree with what he did, here is our statement, here's a letter, right? That's one thing, I guess. And they're absolutely endorsing Kamala Harris, you know that. But they wrote a letter. This family went outside. Not only they had shirts created for this specific reason. You have to think, somebody designed this shirt. Somebody sent it to a printer. They all put it on, went outside, found a camera, got a cameraman, and then betrayed their family member. That is wild. Now, this comes off the situation where Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has now endorsed Donald Trump. Tulsi Gabbard has now endorsed Donald Trump. And now Tim Walz's entire family has now endorsed Donald Trump. This is like, I don't think there could be a worse situation for them, right? The two most popular Democrats, as well as Tim Walz's entire family. Now, I seem to think, right? I've heard some, I think David, darn, I can't think of the name right now. But anyways, somebody talked about in a podcast how he didn't seem, it was a Tucker Carlson interview, and I'll remember the name because I love it. This guy, I've talked about him before. Dave Smith, thank you, memory. Dave Smith talked about how he doesn't believe exactly that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. endorsing Donald Trump is going to exactly mean more votes. And I tend to agree with him. I don't think that the endorsement of another candidate completely equals the voting for by a certain group of people that follow one person. I don't think it's transferable, was his quote. Now, I agree with that, but I've heard people that were strict Democrats their whole life, like one of the most Democrat people I know, decided since hearing Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s speech that they were going to vote for Donald Trump. And when if you knew what I knew about this person, you would know that this in any universe was never something that you would have expected. But Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s speech was so powerful that it did hold weight with people, and it did resonate with people, and it did show them the corruption, and it did show them why maybe you should consider your position fully when you understand the consequences. And so I guess endorsements do work. I literally would have not expected that at all. But I now actually know that they do. At least if it worked for this person, I know it's going to work for a lot of other people. So I wonder how much this is making people question it. And I wonder if anybody actually verified that this is actually his family. I mean, this seems to be a pretty consistent story. But
look at that. His brothers, his sisters, his nephews, his nieces, all saying he is a dangerous con man, that he shouldn't be in charge of anything. He's a congenital liar. He is a pathological liar. Look at that. Nebraska. Walz for Trump. That's where they're from, is Nebraska. And there they are. Producers, you don't need me to tell you, but Little Bird's told me that they're set to do interviews. Also, his brother in Florida is, get them, get them,
Ooh.
get them, get them, get them, get them, get them now.
That's great.
While other networks lie to you about what.
So apparently this is his brother, sisters, cousins. Okay. So I found that to be a conversation to be had, because when somebody endorses somebody, I didn't think it was transferable, but I do think that this is a hint to his character if his entire family betrays him like this. Now, you don't know how distant they are and all of that, but if they're saying that he's a con man, if they're saying that he's a pathological liar, that's what his family's talking about. His family is calling him a pathological liar. They're saying that they endorse Trump, and they don't exactly look like politicians. These look like everyday people. These look like people you would go hang out with and have a few beers and barbecue with. And those are the people that I trust the opinion of, not the one standing on stage waving at everybody like they're, the Kamala Harris cackle and her the amount of disingenuousness that is oozing from Kamala Harris's face when she goes on stage just irks me so bad. Like her whole deal, her cackle, her fake laugh, her smile when she goes on stage is just so disingenuous. You know what? I think I solved the puzzle. I think I know where Kamala Harris has been the last 4 years, and it's probably acting school. Because the way that she acts on stage is so disingenuous. The way that she speaks, the way that she cackles to things that aren't funny, her own jokes that aren't even funny at all. The way that she smiles when she goes on stage like she just won an Academy Award every single time. Like she's the people's champion and everybody loves her. Like, not the case. You've been so far underground for so long that you actually think people like you. Crazy.
Adams Archive.